Welcome to FCC Supporters Square, for fans, by fans, and about fans. Here are your hosts, Mark Shipman and Matt Warman.
I hear you.
Hey, everybody, it's another episode of FCC Supporters Square. I am one of your hosts, Matt Warman. The other one is over there, Mike. Go ahead, Mark.
Hey, how you doing, Matt? Good evening, sir.
Oh, yeah, we're guestless this week, but we've been working our tails off to getting some other guests, which we will not mention here. But if it happens, it'll be really cool.
Oh, yes, it will. Yes, it will.
So, hey, what's great about recording on a Thursday is that we just had a game yesterday, and my voice is prime. I was even sitting in the Bailey, and I'm half raspy just by booing. Who was number 10 or 19?
Furnace Essie.
Oh, there you go. He sounds like a person you should boo anyway.
Yes.
just because of that name. Oh my goodness, Mr. Headbutt himself. So we'll get into yesterday's match. We'll get into where we are halfway. So maybe we'll have some bad takes because that's something we haven't done in a while. Some bad takes. And we'll see where this evening takes us. So, Mark, what your thoughts on last night?
Well, I was just coming off of being on vacation, so I'm literally getting back into my home residence at about 8 p.m. last night. So got to see a little more than half the first half, and then all of the second half. But what an amazing, dominant performance. And you just have to take your hat off to the six starters that filled in for the regular six starters that were not there. And what a performance. Defense, A plus plus. They stuck together. They held their own. They played above their pay grade. And another clean sheet for the GOAT, Roman Celentano. What a beautiful night.
Oh, I tell you what, there's so many little things to talk about. Angulo's performance.
Yes.
I said online after the game, because I was thinking it before the game, because we didn't really talk about it. But I thought Toronto might be a trap game. I knew we were going to miss both of our starting center backs because, well, we were in St. Louis. Oh, wait, not the other starting center backs. Um, and we're missing Moreno and we're missing Vasquez. It's like, okay, can Lucho carry this? Can Kubo support? Can the defense not give up goals?
Yeah.
And the answer is yes, 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 yes. On all accounts. Did you get a chance to see the headbutt on Apple TV?
Yes. It was clear they replayed it. If we're going to talk about that headbutt versus the one from last year in Lucho that got him an immediate red card and several game suspension, to have only a yellow card and simply nothing after that, it's hypocrisy. And that's all I can say about it. It's clear what happened last night. And I'm just surprised MLS has, turned the other cheek or just not looked at it as they normally would have.
It happens to us all the time. It could be argued. I'm not saying that it was, but it could be argued that those 3 games that Lucho missed, and I know we didn't play well while he was out, could have cost us a home playoff match. I mean, we won against Red Bulls, and we were going to play at Philadelphia anyway. So I don't know in the grand scheme of things, but having a home playoff at TQL would be magical. But I think it's going to be magical this year. So something that I read online, I think that is correct. We had 46 points last season.
Mm-hmm.
After 18 games, we are at 43 points.
43.
That's insane. That's just nuts.
I
mean, we're setting records. I can't believe that we tied for the most home wins in a row in a season. We have the most points since the shootout, because
Yeah.
nobody counts those seasons. Where we put in our I don't want to say our subs, because I think they're additional starters. We have a strong team here. We have that. It's not just the fluke when you put those guys in. And yeah, Toronto showed streaks. They reminded me of 2019 or 2020 FC Cincinnati.
Yes.
Where, for as bad as we were and for as many wooden spoons as we won, for 20 minutes, there would be a 20-minute burst, particularly the first 20 to 25 minutes, where we were pressing hard, we looked good, we had a half chance. It looked like, okay, this team's got a shot. And then after the 20 minutes, a bad counter, they score, another team scored a goal, and then they just lost it.
Yeah.
Toronto was dangerous until we scored on them. And then they were less dangerous.
Correct.
What are your thoughts on how Toronto played?
Yeah, I mean, with the two Italians up front, Mark Anthony Kaye, a veteran midfielder, very good in the air, very good, in distribution. I remember him when he played for LAFC, just strong. And I expected to see a very strong performance, but you saw after we scored, that first goal, and thankfully came on a nice corner kick that we were just getting time and time again. That just meant our attack was strong, that we were getting so many corner kicks, and finally one of those corner kicks paid off with Arias getting a foot on it. That's all it takes. And you have to just immediately talk about Acosta setting the pace, Nobodo just doing his job, Angulo just, and I'll just say this right quick. The guys that came in that earlier in the season, you would see a drop off, and you did, and it was understood, and you would just say, hey, we hope that these guys can step up, mid to late season. And boy, did we ever see that last night. The players that needed to step up absolutely did. Angulo for sure. Ray Gaddis. You just can't talk enough about how strong he's been for this team. He has just done so much. And to play center back last night, the first time he's ever done that in MLS, wow. Just wow. He was asked to do a job, and he did it emphatically. And, the goals, we probably could have had maybe 4 or 5 with a couple of, near misses. But absolutely strong performance all around. Just demoralized them. That's what they looked disorganized. TFC looked disorganized, and it's just great to see. And just great to see, the subs that came in from FCC2, Halsey and Valenzuela. I don't know what I was doing at 15 years old. It was certainly not sitting in front of 25,000 people and entertaining. It was certainly not that.
Are you sure about that? He might have, but he doesn't want to talk about it. It was entertainment, in air quotes. I thought I've been on Angulo. I mean, I know he's a young kid, but it's like whenever he's there, it's like, and you can see the first 15, 20 minutes, it was a little bit disjointed. Our attack was still a little disjointed.
Yeah.
There was some opportunities where the passes were a little bit slow, or went to the wrong side, or was not weighted properly, those types of things. And you're like, okay, so this is going to be kind of a 0-0. It's going to be one of those we don't have our best people, so we're going to grind out hopefully a 1-0 lead. And then suddenly it's like they had it. It just it was like the light switched it, and it just went off. And really, they were controlling the midfield pretty well, even though they were disjointed on the final third. They were still, if they make a bad pass, they turned it over. They seemed to get the ball back really quick. There wasn't a whole lot of threatening chances from Toronto.
Another match in which, we conceded possession, but yet won the game pretty handily. This has become a mantra for our team, is we're just going to attack, It was just not going to take us long to score. We're almost looking like that Austin team from a year or two back when they were just pouring in goals. We're not necessarily pouring in goals, but the number 3 has been coming up a lot more lately. So I'm riding that wave, and it is beautiful.
I was really scared. The Nashville won their game last Saturday. I'm not knowing that they had a game yesterday as well. That there was a 5-point deficit for them, and thinking, okay, if we have this trap game and they play well next Saturday, that's going to be a 3-point. Now it's a race. Now it's put some pressure on us, because really we haven't had a whole lot of pressure on us. Now is when the pressure starts. Now at mid-season, you start going, okay, these games, we're running out of games. We need to make sure that we get at least 1 point out of this matchup. We win, Nashville loses, so it's an 8-point lead, but it's a game in hand. Now the pressure is getting on Nashville, going, that was a game playing in Montreal that you probably should have played better. We should have tried to at least get a point out of. That's a point dropped. Now we're back at 8 points and a game in hand. So if we win on Saturday, that puts us right back in the catbird seat, because even if we just play 500 on the road, and at some point they may just drop one, but I don't know. I mean, the way our subs are playing, the way our starters are playing, and then we've got Boupendza. He looks the last time FC Cincinnati got a player from the Saudi Arabia League, his name was Nabodo. So
Yeah.
I think Albright knows what he's looking for,
Yes.
and I think he found something, hopefully, in him. If he plays like he does on the tape, he's a faster version of Brenner. He's, I think, a little more athletic than Brenner. Brenner definitely has skills. Don't get me wrong, but he seems to be able to make some of the passes that Brenner couldn't, which will open up Lucho. You can't double Lucho and Vasquez and
right.
That's just too many defenders.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. So
true.
So this is just, it's scary. It's scary that we could get another top quality scorer and put even more distance between us and everybody else.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this, to him making paying immediate dividends for us. He can just step right in and basically take over a match. We just need to place him where he needs to be for success, and that's where I think there's room. There's definitely room for him. So I can't wait.
I don't know what the Bailey's going to do when he scores and does a backflip, because Lucho scoring, everybody goes nuts. Barriel scores, Arias, does not matter. And it sounds like this is the first time I actually kind of heard this or realized this. I think like baseball has walk-off music, walk-on music. When you score a goal, I think you got goal scoring music. So I heard Arias is like, that sounds like Arias goal scoring music. So I wonder what his music will be. Hopefully he times it with a backflip. The people there were raucous. It felt like there were, because it is a midweek, a little more casuals than hardcore. But everybody there, I don't care if you were a casual, you brought it, because it was surprising. And it was like everybody showed up, because it was also a Wednesday game. It was like everybody showed up like right at kick.
Right.
like I was working late and got in late. We just went straight to we went to the pitch for a couple of minutes, because I got there just before they opened the gates.
Okay.
But just for a couple of minutes, then we went over and tried to play it like low key, because it's a Wednesday, and we were looking around at 20 minutes to kick, and there's like, okay, this looks like a 10,000 person crowd, and then suddenly kick, we're looking around, and we even said, oh my gosh, even the fancy seats, everybody's there. So I mean, this is a team that has everybody's attention, and to have the Reds pull out the sword. I don't know if you saw any of the pictures of that.
Absolutely did. What a beautiful time to live in Cincinnati, when you have all 3 sports teams right now are just hitting on all cylinders. And it's just a interesting thing, for so many decades of futility. But look at us now. It is something to see. Move to Cincy, everyone, because this place is rolling.
The city's beautiful, the teams are beautiful, everything is working. It's like, hey, how about you live in a sports desert for 30 to 40 years, and then we're going to give you some magical seasons. And I think that's where we're at right now. I mean,
Yeah.
wooden spoons and the Bengals and their struggles and basically fan base is going, who's going to be the first one to win something? Will it be us? I know you guys suck. Now that's not happening. Now everybody's like the Reds. The Reds were like, where are you going to go? And certainly they've paid for that. But that team is
Yep.
winning in spite of their
Yep.
troubles. And we're not going to talk about it because it's not Cincinnati Reds square.
Well, for the Reds, a lot like FC Cincinnati, the youth have come up and have seized their moment. So certainly you see it. It's still early for the Reds. They've got a long way to go, just like FCC has a long way to go. But the youth are fearless, and they are taking care of business. I'm caught myself watching some Reds highlights, and I haven't done that in a long time. But it's fun to watch. The pitching's great, the timely hitting, and they just seem to be fearless. And that's what you see at TQL Stadium as well.
A lot of what I see in the Reds, and this is the last of we'll talk about it
Yeah.
for this, but they
Orange and
remind me
blue.
a lot of FC Cincinnati in the fact that they are fun to watch. They
Yeah.
are, like you said, fearless, youthful. They're doing their own thing. They're not worried about the big red machine or being compared about anybody else. They're happy to be where they're at. They've earned their spots. They're getting what they're showing what hard work will do, and that's what a town like Cincinnati loves. We don't, we we don't, we do covet winners. Don't get me wrong. All sports teams do, but we like the hard work, right? There's people in bad seasons on all of our teams where we went, we're not good, but that guy, boy, if we could get a couple of people around that guy, there's something could happen because he's a hard nosed player. We have now teams of that. So we've
Yeah.
got that. They don't care. They don't care what you think. They don't care what you said. They don't care what used to happen. They're doing it right now. They're living their life and playing their game, and I love it. So
Oh,
I'm
for
going to
sure.
switch gears real quick because I think we've beaten last night's game, and we'll talk about Saturday's game in a moment. But I want to talk about because I'm trying to get a little less verklempt. Your background is appropriate. There was we are both brigade members, and we're fortunate to know this man.
Yeah.
Some more than others, but still, if you met him, you knew him. Uh, you were a part of it. KD, I figured you'd like to say a couple of words. Try not to tear up because I know I might.
Yeah. Yeah. Kyle obviously meant a lot to the founding of the original Bailey Bastards, of course, Brigade. And he saw this team rise all the way from the third level USL team all the way to MLS before he passed away. So um, just a man that got to know everyone and had it didn't matter what your background was. It doesn't matter your political affiliation. It doesn't matter who you were. You were a friend of Kyle Kuznoff-Dineen. And to know him, I got my first Jameson drink uh, from him, and Salancha, and rest in peace, my good man. This is for you, Mr. Kyle. You will always be remembered. And we just thank you for the years that I knew you as an FCC. I know, many that watch this had been friends with him for even longer, back to um, Horse Cop and the rest of the fun that he always had with his buds. So we salute you, Kyle. He passed. It was for 2019 back on the 17th. So we're just in remembrance of him, and we're just thankful for who he was for our supporters group, and to bring us to where we are today. He was an integral part of all of that. We thank you, Kyle.
Thank you, Kyle. Seriously, I try to live in his model, right? I don't. I go up and talk to anybody and everybody, and hope everybody loves this game and loves this town. That's kind of that's how I roll. I'm just a dude. If you've seen me, you know that I'm just a goofy dude, and nothing special. Just trying to make some joy and have some happiness. I have a good time, and I want everybody else to have a good time. And I know
Yep.
Mark is the same way, and a large portion from the people that we know, like Kyle.
Yep.
So
Yep.
thank you. Thank you for that interlude. Now let's bring it back up again. Let's
Yes.
bring the excitement back up. Saturday we have DC United at DC United, if I remember correctly.
This is true.
It's an unknown quantity for me, because when they play well, DC United can beat anybody, and when they don't, they lose to everybody. It's a Wayne Rooney thing. I remember when we played them here, they played us tough. It was early in the season, if I remember, and I think it was
Yeah.
a 1-0 victory, and we were kind of happy. It was a 2-0 victory, a second goal.
2-1.
2-1. I knew it was a 1 goal. I just couldn't remember.
They
They
scored
all
late.
blend in after a while.
They scored late on us.
Yeah, it was 2-0, and
Yeah.
then it was like, oh, great, clean sheet, and then they gave it up like right after we scored.
Yeah.
I remember that now.
Kind of stunk, and boy, we haven't. I don't think we've given one up that late since, to be honest with you.
That's why this team is where it's at, right?
Yeah.
I mean, last year we played 85 really solid minutes, and then
Yeah.
5 minutes of, oh my goodness, are we gonna win? Are we gonna lose? Are we gonna draw? Oh, we're gonna draw. Okay. This year it's been, even with 1 goal, you're like, no, I think we got this. So, what are your thoughts? What's your bad take on Saturday's game?
Well, again, DC United, right now are in the bottom of the playoff contention table. So they are looking at each match very with necessity. And boy, wouldn't they love to get 3 points from us. I think we played them fairly strong at TQL. We're going to have to continue that Saturday up in DC. We're going to just need to know, figure out what team DC is going to be this Saturday. They're going to be the team that took care of LAFC, or are they going to be the ones that were shut out by Columbus? So we just don't know. It's just going to be an interesting match for us. Certainly an interesting return to where where Lucho had many solid years up in DC. So we'll just have to see what happens.
Last year we played, we had Brenner and Vasquez, which we don't have for this match, but we scored early and often, but DC United actually scored a few times, and it was like, I think we got a 2-0 lead, then they got one back, and then we got one back. If I remember correctly, obviously we won, because that put us into 5th place for the playoffs. We will probably have Hagelin back. We'll probably have Santos back. They were on the cusp yesterday.
Yep. Also have Mosquera hopefully back from his suspension.
So I think that's really important to have some of our starters back. I'm glad that we played yesterday. It's one of those teams, particularly on the road, right? Playing a bad team at home is an easier task. It's not easy, but it's an easier task than playing a bad team on the road, because obviously at home they're going to have whatever. They may not have all their fans, but there's going to have fans, and they're going to have home cooking, and they're going to have a good night's sleep. And that's just kind of how a home team works, regardless of good or bad. And they're going to give you their best shot, particularly when you're a first place team. that's the concern. But my bad take is I think we'll win 2-0. I think we're going to win 2-0. This defense is just so solid, and there's so few teams that have such solid uh, offensive players to really match up against us.
Yeah.
What's your bad take?
My bad take is 3-1. Um, and I'm just continuing this ride of three that we seem to be getting in many matches. Um, the last match we had uh, Acosta and Barriel getting goals for us. I think that we see that continue with an extra goal from X player. If it's Kubo, I'd love to see him get on his name on the score sheet and give us a strong performance. We might give up a goal at some point, but if we've got three on the tally, I think we're looking very good.
I like that. I know when we had him in 2019, it really wasn't his fault. It was really coaching that put him in the wrong positions. But Aldis Powell, as a wingback, he was playing his what we now know as a wingback position. In 2019. We did not know what a wingback position was because he kept going up the field and then nobody's covering because, well, we didn't set up our defense the way we should have. And so he's come back. I would love to see him score a goal. I know he's trying very hard.
Yeah, got to listen to the TV or MLS announcers last night, and they said Powell has not scored since 2018. So to say that he's due is beyond need to say. But getting back to the last match, Powell was strong. He was over there and just simply shut down the Italian Ianecki, shut him down.
Insigne.
Insigne. I'm sorry.
Insigne.
Believe me, I should know him better, but I don't. But I do know that Powell just took him to the woodshed, and you just can't ask for better. Powell and Gaddis just overplay, just played well over their expectation. So if he gets a goal Saturday, perfect. That's what he deserves.
It leads me to the probably the final point of this whole thing is that this team is dangerous because it's not Brenner or Vasquez or whoever our new striker is, right? Pudenza. It's not going to be that. It's definitely Lucho because he's the pot that stirs the drink. And there's one other thing I'd probably talk about Lucho before we leave. But it's Arias, it's Barriel, it's whoever can get the Miazga scored goals, right? Haglund has been close a couple of times, right? It's anybody and everybody. It's not like like let's just talk about Nashville. I don't really want to because they think we're a rival or whatever. But you have to shut down Hanny Makar, right? You have to shut him down. He is the guy. But if he doesn't score, they don't score, right?
He did not score when we went down to Geodis Park. Mukhtar was shut out, and we shut them out 1-0 down there. That was amazing. Lucho, in my opinion, is Golden Boot front runner. Mukhtar's getting the goals, but Lucho's the man.
He is MVP because I don't know who posted it. I think it was. I'm not sure if it was. I'm not going to give attribution to somebody that I can't remember who it was, but it was on Twitter. Beautiful, whoever did that. Thank you. It was a slowdown of Lucho's pass to Badji. When you see it, it's perfectly weighted, and Badji clearly is onside because he's behind the defender. But it was weighted just enough, and Badji waited just long enough to get one step in front and then cut over. And there was that goal.
World class. If you give Lucho an inch, he will take it and make you pay. Number 14 got his first goal at TQL. Wonderful. We've seen Badji play so strong and getting assists, to Vasquez and just play hard. This is finally his goal that he got. What a beautiful goal to set us up for a 3-0 win.
We are very excited, and I think we've almost run out of time because we've run out of things to say. As everything has been so much fun
Right.
and so great. Don't worry, next week we will have 1 or 2 guests. We'll see if it's 1 or 2. But we will have guests, and if you would like to be a guest on FCC Supporter Square, please just drop us a line at fcc.supp.square@gmail.com, or find us on Facebook or Twitter, or if you know one of us knuckleheads, and just say, hey, I'd like to do this, and we'll hook you up. So we're not doing this every week by ourselves. We like company. So
For sure.
final word, Mark.
Matt, great to see you as always. Let's get 3 up in DC, and let's just continue this amazing ride. We're gonna obliterate the point total all time this year if we continue on what we're doing right now. We have no issue with just obliterating that record. And just what an amazing time to be a FCC fan with all the wooden spoons we endured to be where we are right now. Just euphoric. That's all I can say.
I love your words. I love your wisdom. I love everything that you said. And I saw what you did there with the 3 in the DC, by the way. I clocked it pretty early on. It's mind-blowing. My last thought is something that I wrote last night, is that I've been retweeting. I don't speak French, but I've been retweeting FC Cincinnati France, saying, talking about the supporters. And we have Cincinnati in Ghana, and we have a UK, and we've got people all over the United States, and it blows my mind. When we started this in 2016, I said one day, we're going to be a club. We might even be in FIFA. I mean, that was the thing that if our club could be in FIFA, that would be amazing. Now we've got clubs all over. And if you are listening to this, if somehow you're listening to this in France or Asia or wherever, if you come to this town, I and friends of mine, and I guarantee you, I have friends of mine who will help me out. We will make sure that your experience in Cincinnati is amazing.
For sure.
Because you blow our minds just doing this. So if you're coming from out of town in America or out of town from another country, please stop by Tavs or hit me up, hit Mark up. We will take care of you.
Yep. One real quick thing. My hometown is in Lexington, Kentucky, and Lexington, Kentucky now has a USL1 league team. Lexington SC is doing really well. They are green, they're as green can be. But there is the Pride group that is down there in Lexington. Orange and blue grass is on their scarf. So pretty cool by them. They are scheduled to come up in August for a tailgating match. I'm just going to send it out right now. If you guys want to stop over to Nellie's, this Lexington boy will treat you right. So
there you go. No Messi in the Bailey. I'm going to keep saying this until after this happens. No Messi in the Bailey.
Yes.
So that's all the time we have here at FCC Supporter Square. For Mark Suppin, I am Matt Warman. Have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful day.
Salancha.